Hi everybody and welcome to Pomeroy Art Academy's. I'm going to show you an easy way how to animate a high-speed run. Now I've got a run that I did here, several years ago for a feature film that I helped produce with my partners Gary Goldman and Don Bluth called Rockadoodle. And in this scene we see Chanticleer. He's finishing singing a song and he revs up with a big anticipation. And then his legs start to really spin at a high speed as he gets ready to take off in a high-speed run. And you can see the rotation of the legs, you can see the dust kicking up as he takes off into the distance. Let's take a look at this at speed.
Cock-a-doo, what a day. The sun is shining brightly, cock-a-doo, sunny day, down here on the farm.
So you can see the leg movements going around in rapid succession. And it produces something that we used to do quite a bit in the early animation days, where we wanted to give the impression of speed. And we would create what we call ghost images, where a character's feet are moving in quick succession, and we'll see a clear visual leg plus 2 or 3 partial images with kind of a wisp pattern created to give the illusion of multiple images shot at a given frame. And this is what we're trying to do, is graphically imitate what happens in real photography, where the image becomes actually blurred, or you'll see partial images as something is moving extremely quickly. When the character, I'll do a real quick demo here and I'll show you. I'll use my own character, Tig, with his little teardrop body. I'll just rough something out here. There's his ears, his eye. There's his other foot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just mapping something out real rough. You can see in the animation here, there's a moment where Chanticleer revs up in anticipation. That's really important to get the high speed believable. So Tig will go in an arc. I may, let's see, have his arms up like this. I may even have this one arm up further. And I'm just doing these very rough. Get rid of that hand right there. And this foot starts to kick up from the momentum. And this one is still on the ground, balancing him. So it's swept up, and he would go down and then come up into this action. And then next, he would start to leap or take off. This foot still pinching the ground as he is taking off. I'm stretching the body. get a look of determination, because maybe he's running a race and he is just kicking up the dust behind him. So we go from resting pose, anticipation, takeoff, and from this point, I'm going to number these drawings. Let's see, this would be these are placeholder drawing numbers I'm just putting in here. Drawing 3. And drawing 4, we start to see this foot kick way out. And this foot has left the ground and is up and running. And what's happening is this foot is going to kick down, and the path of action will be round. And it'll also be on 1. So if this is drawing 3 and this is drawing 4, there might be a drawing on 1s in between these two. I'll call that 3A. So this foot is kicking up now. This one is kicking down. So this foot becomes this foot. And as it does, we start to see speed lines and slight other impressions of the toes. We have a complete foot here, we have a partial foot here, and we see a tiny little partial of his toes right there, giving the impression of high speed. On the other side, the one that's kicking out, we see the whole drawn foot, and then a partial foot, and even a smaller little partial foot. Once again, to give the illusion of speed as he is taking off. And at the same time, what happens too is you might see dust just all of a sudden start to appear. As this foot lift up, it kicked dust off the ground. There would be the ground surface that he's moving on. And then we'll go to drawing 5, once again on 1s. If I had a timing chart here, that in between, that single in between, that would make that 4A. He would be continuing on 1s. This foot now has come forward. You might see a little ghost impression of a foot there as it travels across the body. This foot, the far foot, which is the right foot, has now gone all the way back. And the impression you're giving is this high-speed rotary action. So you can see a complete foot and then partial feet, giving the illusion of speed. And once again, the dust is starting to really kick up in abundance. Shade this in so we can see. That's the far right foot kicking up. Now the left foot is that is facing us is now coming over. We see little speed lines there and impressions of feet. And then you just continue this. You continue this pattern going all the way out. And he zooms out. This is like him getting he's rivving up. So this leg now has kicked out. We see a complete drawn foot. We see partial feet, giving the impression of speed. And then the right foot on the far side has been brought up. And we see little ghost images of feet there. And once again, the dust is picking up as he is kicking off. Imagine a car, a racing car, burning tires for a moment before it speeds out, and that's what's happening here. And this continues until finally he rockets out at high speed. And you'll see a moment there where you see impressions. You'll see his body leaving quickly with a ghost image maybe of his tail behind as he exits quickly. So that's one way, a simple way that you can get a high-speed run for your character, with the rotary legs, and you can use that combination for any type of animation. If a character is shaking his head from left to right, you could do the same thing with ghost images, so that this drawing, as it goes from A to B, you will see partial head, a partial head with eyes that give you the impression of high speed going one way and then the other. If the character is shaking like mad, shaking water off his face or whatever, a momentary quick shake of about maybe, 16, 17 frames, you would get A and B, and there would be one drawing in between that would slow out and then accelerate. And during that accelerated drawing, that's when you'll see the speed lines and partial heads. So that gives you some good ideas on high-speed animation, high-speed runs, and I hope that comes in handy for your animation. It's been great teaching you on this Breakfast Club, and I hope you join us again. Bye-bye.